Hello and welcome to your mom's favorite channel. Today we'll be making some mac and cheese, but we'll also be making macaroni and cheese balls. And for some reason I always see people using the elbow macaroni. I don't know why, maybe they like it more curvy. I'm used to the more erect macaroni. Or you can use the very flaccid ones too. I'm sure that will work, but we'll stick to the elbow macaroni today. This is what you'll need for the more basic, as seen on TV, American style mac and cheese. I will be adding some of this biolife mozzarella style cheese. This is optional, as we will be making our own cheese sauce in just a few moments. Alright, let's get out our blender's container and a cup measure. In the cup measure out a cup's worth of these nuts, some cashew nuts. We will be soaking this in boiling water. So while the kettle is boiling, let me tell you about some of these ingredients. Firstly, we've got the tapioca flour. This stuff will give the sauce an elasticity, will thicken it up and make it stringy like cheese. Miso paste is fermented soya beans. This stuff takes over a year to ferment, so it's easier just to buy it. Nutritional yeast, also known as nooch, will give it that nice cheesy flavor. This stuff is called cheese alternative for a reason. Apple cider vinegar, because all cheese has a bit of acidity. Any plant-based milk will do, as long as it's neutral tasting and not sweetened. I got this one specifically because it's got added vitamins and all those things, which makes it nice. It's vegan friendly. Turmeric, it's purely just for color, so it won't add much to the taste. As soon as the kettle is done, get some boiling water on your nuts, cover them, leave them to soak for about 20 minutes, and we'll get back to the making of the cheese. Let's get this pasta in some water and boil the out of it. And then on maximum power, get a pot of water to a rolling boil. Season generously with salt. I added a whole pack of lump macaroni, and I think I should have added the oil before I added the macaroni. Just a little splash will keep the stuff from sticking together. Alright, so while that's boiling, I want to tell you a little story about my childhood. So as a lighty, my mom used to make me a lot of mac and cheese, but it never used to be the saucy stuff. She only used cheese and a few other ingredients, like some onion and tomatoes, but I'm using sun-dried tomatoes instead. I'm also adding some garlic and a little bit of chives. I want to recreate the dish that I remember as a kid, so not too saucy, but also with a little bit of flair. This is so nostalgic. I'm not crying, it's the onion, I promise. It's one big onion, 2 cloves of garlic finely chopped. Like with all dishes, onion and garlic just gives it so much more depth, so I recommend putting that in. I also use about 50 grams of sun-dried tomatoes. This stuff is really good, just give them a nice rough chop. By the time we're done with this, the pasta should be done cooking, so let's get that off the heat. Once the macaroni is al dente, you want to strain that through a colander, add a little bit of oil to prevent sticking. I'm going to be using the leftover oil from the sun-dried tomatoes to cook the onions and the rest of the stuff. On medium heat, you want to cook off your onions first. Cook them until they go a bit translucent. Then you can add your garlic with some salt and pepper. Once the garlic is cooked down a little bit, we can add the sun-dried tomatoes and let that simmer while we prepare the cheese sauce. You pour out the nut water. The nut should be nice and soft now. Then we'll add some spices to this. First, we've got our onion powder, about a half teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of salt, half a tablespoon of miso paste, and then tapioca flour. This is quite important, add 1 tablespoon, and then nutritional yeast. This stuff is fucking awesome, so just add a shitload of it, and I mean a lot. Cheese generally has a lot of fat in it, so let's just add a tablespoon of oil. You can use any oil, a few squirts of apple cider vinegar, about a tablespoon's worth, and then a teaspoon of turmeric just for some color, and then a cup of any plant-based milk. I added a little more afterwards, so make it a cup and a quarter, that should be enough, and then just blend it until it's smooth. And just as it is, the stuff has a bit of a cheesy smell, so take a nice big whiff of it. I used roughly half of this pack of chives, so just cut it up nice and fine. I added about 50 grams of this biolife cheese. I just cut it up into little blocks. I don't know why I didn't grate this, I was just being dumb. We will be adding this into the pot with the sauce, so everything is about done, so let's get going. Turn the pot down to a medium-low heat, add all your pasta and then just stir everything in till it's mixed nicely. Then we add our cheese sauce, and once we add this, we want to stir this constantly. You don't want this to stand very long. And then you quickly want to add in your other cheese, and then just keep on stirring. As you mix this, you'll see the sauce will thicken up very quickly. Then you add your chives, and as you mix this, you'll start seeing little stringy bits, just like real cheese, and that's all thanks to the tapioca starch. I quickly want to show you why you want to use tapioca starch instead of something like cornstarch. This was just milk, turmeric, and some tapioca flour, just to make it look a little bit like cheese. And like any other starch, as soon as this stuff gets heat, it will start thickening up, but this goes all elastic and stringy, just like cheese, and that's why I suggest using this instead of other starches. There you go, that's your basic mac and cheese. So I'll be using a muffin tray to mold the macaroni for frying. The way that I'll be doing this is optional, as I'll be adding some cheese in the center. So you just spoon a little bit in the bottom of each of the molds, then add a little block of cheese in the center, and then we'll top that off with some more macaroni. And then with the spoon, lightly press it down so that you compress the whole ball so it will stay together. And then just put this aside to cool down before we put this into the freezer. And while we wait, we might as well eat the rest of this. I'm going to be topping this off with some of this herbivore biltong. For some reason I grated this and not the cheese. Fuck idiot. Then I just sprinkle this on top of the macaroni, and Bob's your uncle. Or he might not be, I don't know. I don't know your family. Anyway, let's eat. There's nothing better than a big bowl of comfort food. This was quite nostalgic and it was fucking delicious. So I guess I'll have to get my mom over to get her verdict on my version of her mac and cheese. Once the mac balls have cooled down to room temperature, you can put that into the deep freeze for about 2 hours or so. And don't be impatient, just wait, I'll show you why. And then in a pot, preheat some oil to 150 degrees Celsius. And then we'll make a quick batter. So in a bowl, just add a cup of any plant-based milk and a few squirts of apple cider vinegar. The vinegar will make it curdle a bit, so this will resemble a buttermilk. I like adding a splash of hot sauce to this just to give it some flavor, it's totally optional, and some garlic powder. I started mixing in some all-purpose flour until I got to a thick crepe batter consistency. And then just add any herbs of your choice. I added some oregano. In a separate bowl, just add a lot of panko breadcrumbs. This stuff is good for texture and crunch. And then in another bowl, just add some all-purpose flour for dusting. Once the macaroni is chilled for long enough, you can get it out. Use a knife just to loosen the sides and flip it over. Give it a few knocks. They should come out nicely. You might see one or two that has a little bit of breakage, but that's fine. They should still be able to work. And then it's a 3-step process. We'll first put it into the flour. The flour will help the batter to adhere a bit better. And then after the batter, we'll put it into the crumbs and try to coat it as much as possible. But by the second one, I unfortunately realized I didn't let these cool long enough. I was impatient, so they were too soft and they started falling apart. I suppose we learn by fucking up, right? So let's get these back into the freezer and not make the same mistake again, alright?
Get out of here, man, for real.
Once the waiting has been done, it's the same process. Flour, batter, breadcrumbs. Try to be gentle with them, they can be brittle. And then you put them in the oil until they're golden brown. But our first one was a fuck up, once again.
What the fuck, bro?
Was still delicious though. Anyways, we had better luck with the rest of them. They came out nice and golden brown, crispy, and most importantly, they came out in one piece. And as soon as you take it out, just put a little bit of salt that will help keep them crispy. And when you're working with oil, please be careful. This stuff is fucking hot. Just remember to add that little bit of salt at the end. And there you go. We've got our macaroni and cheese balls all done. I enjoyed these with a little bit of Prego sauce and some chopped up green onions. The stuff smelled delicious. It even attracted a little nori. Hey nori. Hey nori. Okay. Bye bye nori. Let's eat again. These were so crispy, so delicious, super comforting, and hella cheesy. But I think it's better if you see for yourself. When I cut these open, the cheese was still nice and melty. It pulled a little bit. Delicious. Remember to subscribe, leave a comment, like this video, And like always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace!